So I've been messaged, Angela, should I drop out of college? The truth is, I don't freaking know. When you're asking yourself that question, just a hunch, it feels like you obviously already know the answer. If you're thinking about it, if you feel like you're not getting enough value out of the tuition fee you're paying, if you're bored out of your mind, feeling like you're not really learning something you're interested in, then you probably should get the fuck out. Don't quote me. Don't quote me, okay? I would love to make this video helpful. The truth is, I really don't know if you should drop out of college because when I dropped out, I knew that going to that institution would just make me miserable. And I just knew college was not for me. I would skip my classes, not interested, be bored out of my mind, sitting on a chair, pretending to be listening to one of my classmates or a professor reading off of a freaking PowerPoint. And I would literally just skip it and walk away if it did not interest me, which caused some backlash. The people knew I just was not fucking interested. Like, you do not get to encroach on my time. It's not anything against teachers. I love some of my college professors. It's just that when I've had some who are like amazing, absolutely amazing, and taught me really valuable things. And I've also had some who are freaking arrogant and like literally coercing me to stay and listen when A, I had good grades, and B, they just wanted to freaking assert their authority and stroke their ego by making me stay. So I'd literally just walk out and skip class if I was not interested. There were two places in Ateneo that I loved. One was the library, where I could read the amazing books. Ateneo has like really amazing books. If you're not using their library, you're like missing out. I love the books, and I love the cafeteria. I love Knight's Table specifically because they made the best coffee jelly and the best palabok ever. Well, not the best palabok, but like it was the best for its price. I had that internal knowing that I should get the fuck out because I knew I was a born entrepreneur. I knew that business was this thing that like spurred me on and lit my fire and kept me excited. And I just was not going to be ending up in a corporate world. Funny because I was walking around in Makati with my mom, and everyone there had like suits and ties. If you've been to Makati, like their buildings are like super tall and everyone just looks professional. And I was just like walking in there in my crop top, bearing my midriff, and just like being a happy-go-lucky girl, thinking, shit, if I ended up here, I'd be miserable. If I had to wear corporate shit and work from 9 to 5, pleasing some boss's ass, I would not be a happy human being. So there's that one internal, just my compass was telling me it was not right for me to continue going to college. So there's that. There was also another thing, which was an external validation of that internal knowing. When I went to Project Persuasion 3 in Phuket, this is a marketing mastermind by Mitch Miller and Russell Brunson's first mentor, Mark Joyner, who's absolutely amazing. These guys are like absolutely amazing. I I bought their VIP seat, and so I was able to have an extra day with them. They were putting me on the hot seat, and I don't specifically remember what the words were, but I kept saying, I can't make more money because my time's limited. I'm in college. And so, like, literally, like, there were a lot of I can. And this guy, Mike, who I absolutely admire too, just told me, you've said so many I can'ts, and the reason is because you were in college. So Mitch goes like, then drop out. And everybody, every single entrepreneur, right then and there, told me to drop the fuck out. So I did, obviously. Like, thankfully, like, I feel like life also lets things happen for you, like, for your best interest. Because when I had my fight with my dad, he stopped paying for my tuition fee. So I was like, yes, I never wanted to go anyway. And the only reason that I went was, to keep my parents happy. Because they were just like, absolutely not. You are going to college. You're going to get that degree. Do you know how many people don't have the chance to even go to college, and you're going to Ateneo? And I was like, I thought it was cool and all, but like, I just don't see myself fitting in the system. And it's not out of arrogance even. It's about me knowing myself and knowing that I wouldn't be happy there. Like, it's not a path that I would stay on. Like, if it were a marriage, it was just a forced marriage. To add to that external validation, I was being coached by this amazing woman named Tatiana Mercedes, who is the girlfriend of Darren Jacklin, who happens to be a Fortune 500 corporate trainer and speaker. He is literally on the board of companies that are on NASDAQ. So Tati told me that she had 3 degrees, and she had like a master's degree that she's not freaking using. And she went to the Harvard of Canada, and she told me, good for you for fucking dropping out, for getting your ass out of college. I just knew it was not right for me. That place, I was literally just getting by each day. I would show up to class and not know what was going to happen that day. Like, literally, my classmates would laugh at me. They're like, what? You don't know? There's a quiz today? There's an exam tomorrow? And I'm like, hell no. So I just knew. I listened to my internal compass. I listened to that inner knowing and that external validation that, like, no, college is not my thing. And given the pace of, with how the world's changing so fast, a lot of these jobs are going to be obsolete by the next 2 decades at most. I just don't think that college is my safety net. I feel like I am my safety net. With how I work on myself, with how I've been the student of personal development, that a fucking piece of paper is not gonna save my ass. I mean, look at what happened during COVID. A lot of people are freaking jobless. How many of these people actually have a master's or a doctorate degree? A lot. And they're unemployed. Their freaking cutesy degrees didn't save their ass from unemployment. And the other thing was, I knew I was meant to be an entrepreneur, and employment is just not my thing. Like, I lasted 7 days at this one job, the very first one that I had, and this was my very first, and it's the only job I've ever had in my life. I lasted 7 days there. 7. So, armed with that knowledge, I just knew I wasn't, just was not somebody who wanted to be an employee. And if you are, that's totally fine. If you think that the corporate world would make you live a more fulfilled life, it's going to give you a better version of you, then go for it. By all means, go for it. You just need to know yourself enough. You just need to know what's acceptable for you, what's unacceptable, what you like, what you don't like. And sometimes you don't even really know what you like just yet. Sometimes you know the direction, like you would know where you're supposed to go by first knowing what you don't like in the first place. I'm gonna be getting a little more woo-woo here. So I angel read for myself. And these are like cutesy looking tarot cards that Mitch says are bullshit. But in my opinion, they've saved my ass and they've just really pointed me in the right direction for the majority of my readings. And so when I was at Ikapono, which was my very first personal development event that I've attended back in 2018, Paps he's my friend. That was the very first time I had my angel reading ever. And basically, the very first question I asked was, am I meant to be a network marketer? Because at that time I was doing network marketing and I just wanted to know if I'm like on the right track. And out of 78 cards, so there were 78 cards in that deck. When I asked, am I meant to be a network marketer? Out of all the 78, the card that I got was entrepreneur. Just freaking blew my mind, you know? It just explained to me why I am the way I am. And it just affirmed what I already felt about myself then. And so that's the first sign. That's literally an external thing validating what I already knew. The second one was before I went to Phuket, before I went to Project Persuasion, my dad threw a fit and I paid for myself, right? I mean, I had to borrow money from my mom because I mismanaged my finances. Basically, I bought Bitcoin thinking it would double by the time I would go to Phuket. It didn't, so it fucked me up in the ass. And so that time my dad got mad because he didn't want me flying anywhere, even if he wouldn't be giving me money. So my mom then tells me that I could not go, like I'm not allowed to fly to Phuket when I already booked my tickets and literally spent money to be there. So I was freaking out. It was 4 a.m. in the morning. I remember just literally almost, I feel, if memory serves, I was freaking crying. Like my heart was pounding because like, what do you fucking mean I can't fly to Phuket? Like I saved up for this for months and months, and I gave up buying new shoes just so I could freaking fly to Phuket for this mastermind. Like, what do you fucking mean I can't go? And so I was reading for myself. I was angel reading at 4 or 5 a.m., most likely 4 a.m. And I was like, it went to the point where I was asking, will I graduate college? And keep this in mind, you know, at that time, my dad was paying for my tuition fee. Like I had a really comfortable life. He was giving me an allowance every week and I was comfortable. Yeah, like I had good grades. I was going to college for my parents. And when I was shuffling my deck, out of 44 cards, the first card I got was a no. So I literally had the biggest smile on my face then because I'm like, fuck yes. Now, I wanted to be sure. I really wanted to be sure. So I shuffled it a second time. And guess what card I got again? I put the original card back, and out of 44 cards, I got no. So I was like, fuck, I'm not meant to graduate college? What did I do? I put the card back, shuffled it even more, asking, am I meant to graduate college? For a third time, I got a no. A card that said no. There you go, I dropped out. I dropped out a year after and never looked back. So, to answer your question, should you drop out of college? Only you can really answer that. You need to ask yourself why you want to drop out. You need to ask yourself why you're even going to college in the first place. And you need to ask yourself what kind of path do you want to take. I know it's not like the straightest answer, but again, I don't want to answer that question for you, and I'm always careful not to like give people direct answers because only you can answer that question.